weekend, we're taking the Tesla up to northern Minnesota for Grandma's Marathon. It's 85 miles from my home in Rochester, Minnesota to Baldwin, Wisconsin, where we'll be picking up a camper we're renting on RV Share. Once we hook up, it'll be 200 miles to our campground in Two Harbors, Minnesota, not far from the start of the race. Today I'll share my experience towing a Flagstaff A-Frame camper with my 2023 Tesla Model Y with the factory installed 2-inch tow hitch. Shout out to the folks we rented from on RV Share. Thanks for helping us get hooked up and for the awesome rental experience. A couple miles out of town, and I guess my first impression is, wow, this Tesla is solidly built. I can tell that there's something behind me. Can't see who's driving behind us, but I can see the trailer pretty well. I can see the lines on the road. It automatically went into trailer mode when I plugged in the electrical for the lights. That disables autopilot. I'm not quite sure what else it does. It's been really smooth so far, and I'm eager to see what kind of impact towing will have on the energy consumption. Now we can see right off the bat, 519 watt hours per mile is about twice what the rating is. Projected range of 87 miles. We're planning on stopping here in 60 miles to eat dinner and then charge up. There are plenty of chargers along the way, so we'll just play it by ear and charge up when we need to. Well, as I mentioned, autopilot doesn't work in trailer mode, but cruise control does. And let me tell you, it sure is nice kicking on that cruise, sitting back and watching my mirrors. The car kind of drives itself. Another thing I'm watching is that battery meter. It is trending downwards. Right now it's at 49%. The car is doing a good job of adjusting its projected arrival percentage. It's been hovering from 20 to 25%. We'll see how accurate this projection is when we arrive in North Branch. We're 40 miles out from Baldwin where we picked up the camper, and we have 25 miles to go, still showing 18% projection. We've been averaging 500 watt hours per mile, so it's gone down. We're going up a pretty steep hill, but I've still got more pedal I can keep putting down, and we're accelerating. So the thing really does tow. Like I said, it's just, you gotta be prepared to take a hit on your range and be very planful with where you're gonna stop and charge. And now that this stop sign crept up, you can see how awesome the regen brake is. Now right here, I think the brake pads did have to clasp in, but plenty of regen capacity as well, which again makes towing a lot easier when you don't have to worry about eating up your brakes. So there's the charger I think I'm going to use. There is a supercharger here in North Branch. They don't have any pull-through stalls, and I don't really want to block a bunch of stalls for other folks. And there's better dining options where we're at currently. That is really nice, using that camera. But here we are. We will pull up. Now unfortunately it looks like I will block some of these level 2 chargers, but I don't think there's going to be too many people wanting to use them tonight. There we go. I am going to pull out my phone. This is a Zeph charger, so they have their own app. I'll open up the app, plug in my details, and we'll start charging. Okay, so we charged for about an hour, 57 minutes according to the pedestal. I stopped the charge in the car because I'm using my CCS adapter. So we'll go ahead and just pull out, push the button on the plug, and then we'll get my adapter liberated here. So we arrived here with just under 20%, 18 or so, and now we're up to 74%. Rather than go all the way up to Two Harbors tonight, we found a campsite in Sandstone at Banning State Park. The day kind of got away from us. We're going to be staying there tonight and setting the camper up, and then we'll start first thing in the morning. Here we go. All right, so we've gone 15 miles. And we've used about 10%, 11% of our battery. Now you can see this is when we got on the highway. There was a big spike in energy usage and then it leveled off at about 630 watt hours per mile. Now we are going 65 and have been since we got on the highway. We have a projected arrival of 31%, so I think we have some energy to play with here. I'm going to speed up to 70 and see what that does to our energy consumption. About 10 miles later, here's where we picked up our speed, and over the past 5 miles you can see our consumption's up to 690, almost 700 watt hours per mile. Going from 65 to 70 resulted in a net increase of 10% of energy consumption. If you're pinching kilowatt hours, your best bet is to drive slow. So here's the charging setup overnight. Managed to get up to 64%. Now, frugality and safety don't always go hand in hand. Check out how many adapters I have going on right now. A NEMA 1450 to 620, and then a homemade 620 to 515, and then 515 for my Chevy Bolt charger into the car, and last but not least, the J1772 to Tesla adapter. But hey, it works. After a nice comfortable night here at the campground, managed to get up from 30%-ish to over 60%. So enough to potentially make it to the destination. We'll see how well we do this morning.
From an end user standpoint, it's really kind of, individually and not as an organization. So data governance, security, and so that's one of the challenges.
Little tiny bit more.
The official Model Y tow hitch comes with 2 trailer hooks and a standard North American 7-pin connector for powering lights and brakes. All right, we're 31 miles into our first leg of the day. Destination is the Buffalo House Campground. We're going to visit with my parents, have coffee. 18 miles to go, and we're projected to arrive with 28% battery. Now, something I want to show you. Check out the energy consumption over the past 30 miles. We've been doing 65 since we got on the interstate, and averaging about 550 watt hours per mile, but then you can see we started to hit the hills, and that energy consumption really started to jump up and down. In those events, you want to continue to maintain your speed. If you're changing speed a lot to try to absorb those hills, you're going to end up wasting energy. We're doing pretty well. 550 watt hours per mile is better than what we were doing yesterday at 65 miles an hour, so things are looking good. I just had a nice brunch at my parents'. We were here for a couple hours and managed to get 5% again through Adapter Central. They had the 1450 connector on their camper plug too. Now, I'm definitely going to be investing in a mobile connector kit with all the adapters that you can get from Tesla. I would have been able to charge 2.5 times faster last night and over 2.5 times faster here than I am with my 12 amp 240 volt charger from my Bolt. Shout out to my parents for letting me charge up at their campsite for a little bit and having brunch with us, and now we're on our way to go visit my brother and pick up our bibs for Grandma's Marathon. Grandma's Marathon got its start in 1977 and is now one of the largest marathons in the United States. The Gary Bjorkland Half Marathon, which I'll be running, had over 7,000 people participating this year. The finish line for both races is in Canal Park in Duluth, Minnesota, nestled in the far southwest corner of Lake Superior. All right, we're down here in Canal Park in Duluth, Minnesota. There are 8 AC chargers, all 48 amp, so I got about 20% on those while we walked around and had lunch, and then I noticed that this was open. This is a 50 kilowatt Zeph charger, same as the one that we charged up in at North Branch. All of these sessions are free today, which is pretty awesome, probably due to the marathon, and is being powered by this 54 kilowatt solar array that we have above all of the charging stations. I'm probably using 44 of that 54 kilowatts, so we're probably using some power from the grid to charge up these other cars, but it's pretty awesome to think that the sun is powering my charge right now. Come on! Well, we watched the 5K down at Canal Park, and at that solar canopy managed to attain a 90% charge. We were stifled a few minutes because I decided I was going to push a software update right before we were about to leave, so we had to sit and wait for that software update to complete. But went back, had some pasta. Now we're headed to our campground in Two Harbors. We should have no problem making it to Two Harbors. I'll plug in when we get there on hopefully a 240 outlet, or at worst a 120, and coming out ahead now on the charge, and getting ready to run a half marathon tomorrow. Probably 35 miles of range. All right, we're on our way back to Rochester today. We're planning on hitting up the Carlton supercharger. That does have a pull-through site, which will be really nice. I won't have to unhook the camper, and it's also a V3 supercharger, so a 250 kilowatt max. Efficiency-wise, you can see last night when we were driving the car by itself, we were getting about 300 watt hours per mile, and now today we are averaging 650 watt hours per mile, and that's just driving 65 on the expressway here. It's going to be another day of battling the inefficiencies of towing a trailer, but I'm confident that we have enough charging stops along the way to make it to our destination. Come along with for the ride. Now, PlugShare says that there is one stall that is for trailers, but I don't know where it is. Oh, there you go. There's a sign right there that says Model Y is towing trailers that way. Aha! Nice. And there we are, arriving with 50% battery. We will top off. I'm projecting a need to go up to 85% in order to make it to North Branch. That's where we'll stop next. I don't anticipate being here for very long, maybe 20 minutes tops, and we'll be on the way. that works. All right, we're here at the North Branch Supercharger. You can see this is a station with 8 V3 superchargers. Now, luckily nobody was here. I was able to kind of pull in, and I'm only blocking 3 chargers right now, which is good. Now, obviously, that pull-through site at Carlton was ideal because I wasn't blocking any, but this is working out just as well for me, at least. Hopefully nobody pulls up right here. I'll be able to swing right out and be on the way, but I don't anticipate us needing to be here too long, maybe another half hour. We're gonna go into the gas station and grab some snacks, and we'll be on our way to go drop off the camper in Baldwin. So we dropped off the trailer and concluded our RV rental. We've changed our destination to home, 60 miles away now. Now you can see the car is estimating that we'll arrive with only 2% battery. But originally when we put the destination in, it was 0% and it told us we needed to charge. But I think it's still holding on to some latent efficiency calculations from when we had the trailer, because now that we don't have the trailer, we're about doing as well as our rated range should be. You dump the trailer off about there, and now we've been doing just about at rated range, which means that we've got about 111 miles in the battery, which is more than enough to get home. So just something to take note of when you drop your trailer off. I wouldn't trust the Tesla's projections until you get a few miles under your belt. Really just see how your driving is based on your conditions after the first few miles, and then kind of use that information to plan accordingly. And one way you can do that too, if you go into the energy menu, hit instant range, and just over your past 5 miles, you can kind of see how you're driving right now and how it corresponds with a projected range. Really quite impressive today, managing to get from Two Harbors down to Baldwin with only 2 charges, each lasting about a half hour each, and now from Baldwin to home without needing to charge again. So very happy with how we did today from an efficiency standpoint and how well the Tesla's handled the camper. All right, so we're back in Rochester. 17% on the battery and a few more miles to go till I get home. But we performed at rated efficiency from when we dropped off the vehicle to now. So that's right now having us about 236 watt hours per mile. Would I do it again? Absolutely. I'm interested in looking at other campers, other foldables that are going to be efficient to tow, but also allow you to enjoy the camping experience without a lot of sacrifices. Really, the vehicle tow is excellent. I think it was totally reasonable having 2 half-hour stops today for charging, and going hundreds of miles. So, very great vehicle to tow with. You just have to be prepared to take a few more charging stops along the way. So thanks for watching, and we'll definitely post more videos in the future with future camping endeavors.